In this video, I will present to you my timbre pack for the audio evolution. If you have a simple, basic keyboard and you are tired of playing with the same lifeless, weightless sounds that you hear even in the best keyboards, this video is for you. Because now, using only your cell phone, you will be able to transform the sound of your keyboard. This is also for you, who owns an intermediate or even a professional keyboard and wants to expand your timbre setup, have more options without having to spend too much on it. So, let's start. Very well, my friends. Be welcome to the Worship Piano channel. My name is André Sorio. If you are not subscribed to our channel, I invite you to subscribe because here you will find everything about keyboard and piano for everyone who plays at the church or wants to play. I also invite you to check out my course, Piano Worship, a 100% Christian, 100% online keyboard and piano course, so you can play at the church with excellence to the Lord, independently if you are a beginner or if you already know how to play and want to develop what you already know. The link is in the description. Very well. In just a bit, I will be playing with the timbres that I made, showing the pack in detail for you. And hear me out, you will be impressed by the quality of the sounds you can achieve with just this app and the timbre pack. It is important to notice that the timbre that I used at the start of the video, I played it using this very basic keyboard, the PSRE 363, connected to my cell phone. And you can see that it was already possible to get this timbre, which is a piano from Nord, the Italian brand. And I also added a pad and a bell using only my cell phone. So as you can see, you can do a lot of different things with this app, and I will show even more things like this later on. But before anything, I would like to make some important points here. I got lots and lots of comments from my students from the course and also here in my comment section asking me to make a video about the audio evolution. And now I'm making this video for all of you, complete with everything where I'll be answering the main questions about this app. So let's get into it. So, what is Audio Evolution? This app, for those that don't know it, it is an app that works for both cell phones with the operational system Android, which is the majority of the brands, Motorola, Samsung, etc. And it also works for iOS, which is found in Apple devices. So, this app is a digital audio workstation, basically an app for music production, where you can make songs from start to finish. So, it has a lot of different functions. Have in mind that because this is an app for music production, one of the resources the Audio Evolution has is the capacity to use timbres installed on your cell phone and using your keyboard as a MIDI controller for those timbres, giving you overall more options for sound. So basically, you're gonna use only the keys on your keyboard because the sound you're gonna hear is the one you downloaded on your cell phone. And that's basically it. So let's say for example you have a simple keyboard like this one. You can say like, I don't like the piano on this keyboard, or maybe I like it but I want more options. And so you download these timbres in your cell phone, which are, by the way, high quality timbres that you can find only in the top keyboards of the market that are priced at 10, 15, 20, 30k. And you can just download these timbres and with a simple cable, preferably USB, you can connect it and then you can play it on your keyboard. And now you'll have a quality sound along with the other resources that I'll explain in a bit. So, the Audio Evolution is a digital audio workstation which you can use to turn your keyboard into a MIDI controller for the timbres you will install on your cell phone. Here I won't go into detail about the connections and how do you do them because the video will be too long and there are various ways you can do it. But in a general sense, you will only need an USB cable where in one extremity you have that printer connection port which you are going to connect in your keyboard, and in the other side you are going to need an OTG adapter to plug in your cell phone. So that's basically it. You need a printer cable and a connection to plug in your cell phone, and that's all you need to play. There are a lot of ways to make the connection, but I won't be talking about that because it would probably get you more confused than actually help you. There are other videos here on YouTube, and if you buy the timbre pack, I will send you a video that explains perfectly how can you do the connection for all kinds of keyboards. And also, after you make the purchase of the timbre pack, you will have access to my exclusive support, where I will be readily available to help you depending on what connection you're gonna do. And that's basically it. You're gonna need an USB cable to connect your keyboard to your cell phone and take the audio and send it to whatever you want afterwards. You can send it back to your keyboard or a sound system. It is important to note that the Audio Evolution has two versions, the paid one and the free version. You can download the free version to test it. Obviously, it has its limitations, but it's free, you can use to test, and then buy the other version afterwards, which is, by the way, not expensive, and I can reassure you that it is worth every single penny, and you will see why later on. For iPhone users, on the other hand, the free version is not available, you only have the paid one. The price you pay is merely symbolic for the return and quality you can achieve using only your phone, so it is worth it. Now I want to talk about the pros and cons of this app. One important thing to note is that my evaluation of the Auto Evolution will only account for the use of the app to play keyboard, using it as a MIDI controller and using the timbres present on the Audio Evolution. So, I won't be bringing up all the other resources like recording, mixing. They are not the main focus of this video, and I also didn't use them. My main focus here is the use of the app in conjunction with the keyboard, so let us start. So first, the pros. To start, the first thing that stood up to me using this app is the possibility of having top-tier timbres using only your phone. This is an enormous advantage, really incredible. I confess that at first, people were asking me to make videos about the Auto Evolution, and I looked at it with a little suspicion like, using your cell phone? But I can assure you that I was positively surprised with the quality I could get from this. With the timbres that I set up, the quality is incredible. And you all know I'm very used to play with top-tier keyboards. I have here the Phantom Zero, also had the Montage, Motif, YC. I have now the Yamaha CP73, which I will make a video about soon. So I'm very used to play with high-quality keyboards, and also with simple keyboards too. There is a video for every type of keyboard in this channel. So I know the difference of this keyboard here, for example, that costs around $300 to $400 to a keyboard that costs $4,000. I know how big is the difference. But this app can give you a very similar experience. Obviously, it isn't the same thing. Having a top-tier keyboard is having a top-tier keyboard. A high-quality keyboard is not high quality only because of its timbres, but because of all of its components. For the keys, the structure, the resources, all of this makes the experience of playing it fantastic. But for those that have simpler keyboards and are tired of playing the same basic timbres, or even for you who has an intermediate keyboard or a top tier keyboard but wants to expand your timbre library, this app is for you. I'm gonna give you a demonstration. Here I have the app open. I'm not gonna show you the timbre pack just yet. This is just to give you an example of what I was talking about. These right here are the timbres that are included in the pack. I'm gonna present them to you in just a bit. We have here lots of timbres of Nord leads, here in the piano section for example. Just look at the variety you have. We have here the piano Fazioli, a grand piano that costs over $200,000. Just listen to the quality of this timbre. Listen to the high register. Amazing timbre. Another example here. Here you have the Nord White Grand Piano. Very used, very liked, Just listen to the sound. And this is not just for pianos. You also have other fantastic timbres like the Rhodes. See, here we have all kinds of timbres, and I'll show them in just a bit. Another big advantage of this app is that it allows you to combine timbres, which is a thing that you see more in intermediate to professional keyboards. For example, this keyboard is a very basic one. You can maybe mix one timbre in dually, but this app can mix up to 3 or 4 timbres, controlling their volumes individually, EQing them individually. For example, at the start of the video, I used a Nord piano, the Italian Grand, which is this one. Beautiful timbre. It is now at volume 1. I can lower it, and we are not going to hear anything. And if I raise it, and now for example, in number 2, I put on a pad. And it's the same thing. I can lower the volume of the pad as well. And here in the third spot, I put on a bell. So, this mixing property that allows us to layer different sounds is a fantastic thing that most basic keyboards don't have, especially in this form, which you can only find in intermediate and better keyboards. One more thing that stood up to me about this app that I think is a big pro is the polyphony. In a general sense, when you buy a simple keyboard, like a Havas or any other basic keyboard, you're gonna notice that when you use the strings or any other timbre for that matter, even if you press the pedal, the timbre dies out way too soon. And that is a problem of polyphony. The keyboard cannot play too many sounds at once, and so it cuts the sound and lowers it because the system of the keyboard does not have polyphony for it. But here, in the app, the polyphony is fantastic. For example, if I play a chord, as you can see, it doesn't cut the sound, even if I play a lot of notes, and the same thing applies if you are playing a pad or strings. Here, I'm gonna mix 3 timbres. Hear how it sustains and doesn't cut the sound. And while I'm showing this, if you are a beginner keyboardist, you might be thinking, why is he paying so much attention to this detail? But if you are experienced, you know that this is proof of the quality of these timbres. It doesn't matter if people say like, this timbre is from Nord. If you play it, the timbre has no sensibility, but in this case right here, it has. It has sensibility and the sound is prolonged. It fades out very smoothly, and this demonstrates the quality of the timbre. If you are experienced, you know what I'm talking about. And these are also very heavy timbres. Some are 500 MB, 1 gigabytes, 1.5 gigabytes, so they are not shallow timbres, they have quality. And that's why I'm reiterating this information, because if you are an experienced musician, you will understand that we are talking about high quality stuff. In the matter of advantages, fantastic. You can use high quality timbres even in simple keyboards. You can layer different instruments together, EQing each one individually, controlling each volume individually, and the polyphony as well. So in total, this app is an excellent choice. Now we'll talk a little bit about the cons. In any case, if I talk about the pros, I also have to talk about the cons. And if you go right now to the Play Store, or wherever you download your apps, Apple Store, I don't know, and search for the audio evolution, you will see a barrage of complaints. There are lots of negative reviews. However, in my perception and experience for what I tested and also talked about with other people, those complaints, although they are legitimate and I believe whoever made them had the reasons to do so, that number of complaints doesn't match the quality of this product. I do believe that the app can get better, but for me it is already an S tier app. I would give an S tier to it when it comes to music production. And I'm not being sponsored here, this is just my opinion. Let me explain why. I've been working with music production for the past 20 years, and I know that every recording program crashes sometimes, even the professional ones. Everyone who's familiar with music production and knows very well the programs is very used to save every single bit of progress because it's very common the situation where you're recording something, the program crashes, and now you lose what you were recording. And so producers are very used to press Ctrl S and save everything they do. The app crashing is a fairly common thing, and so people download this app on their phones, and it is obvious that the app is going to crash at some point. And then you ask me, what about those complaints in the Play Store? And to that I say, an unsatisfied user makes much more noise than 10 satisfied users. When you like a product, you're gonna talk about it with 2, 3 people, or just with those who ask you about it. Now, when you dislike a product, you're gonna bash it to every single person you get the chance to. And so, it is natural, and I know this, that a lot of people download the Auto Evolution and get to use it without any relevant problems. And these people are not gonna come back and praise the app like, wow, what a fantastic app, 10 out of 10. Most people don't do that. Now, when someone downloads the app and experiences some sort of issue, they will most likely go to their website and complain to lay out their frustration. So, obviously, the app has its issues, but for what it offers, for me, it is fantastic. For example, I have been using it for 2 weeks, and for me at least, it didn't crash a single time. And I'm not using it for 10, 20 minutes either. To make the pack, I had to use it for hours on hours, and it didn't crash, so for me, it's an excellent app. Now, it is important to remember that the app does not work alone. It depends on your cell phone, and we all know that most phones are practically disposable nowadays. The companies make them to last 2 to 3 years, and then it starts to crash. We all know that. And so, the app works depending on your phone. It also depends on your cable connection. Sometimes you're using a low quality cable, or maybe your phone port has a problem and doesn't connect properly. For example, I have a phone here in my house that has a flaw in its connection, and so it doesn't charge properly. So, all of this must be taken into consideration. The app does not work alone. It depends on other factors, other equipments, which are just a few to be honest. But it also depends on other connections, in which the combination of these connections together might result in a problem eventually. So it is not as simple as just turning on a keyboard normally, connecting a cable, and start playing. That's not the case in this app. You're gonna need cables, connections, and depends on what phone you have. So all of this raises the probability of a problem happening. But as I've said, I have used it without any problems. In just a bit, I'll be playing and showing the timbre pack for you, but now I want to show you what you are going to have access to with this pack. In purchasing this timbre pack, you will have access to over 100 high-quality timbres. These timbres are varied. You'll have acoustic pianos, electric pianos, Rhodes, horns, accordion, organs, etc. So, I have included in this pack the main timbres that most musicians use. It doesn't matter if you're gonna play at the church or not, this works for everything, for any musician and for any context. In these 100 timbres, you will find 17 acoustic pianos of the highest quality. I'm talking about pianos from Nord, which I included about 4 of them, pianos Yamaha CFX, Fazioli, and other pianos which you'll have access to in this pack. And all of these pianos have sensibility. This is not the kind of samples that when you press a note, the sound comes out loud and everything sounds the same. No. As I've shown you before, these pianos have sensibility and they will certainly please even those of you who play a classical repertoire. You'll have access to pianos like the Fazioli, Yamaha CFX, and other acoustic piano timbres that are high level. I've also included 5 electric pianos, all of the highest quality too, and also included 5 high quality Rhodes. You'll get 12 Nord lead timbres, timbres based on the Nord lead, which is a very expensive synthesizer, and a lot more miscellaneous timbres like pads, organs, leads, brass, horns, acoustic guitar, electric guitar. So there are lots of different timbres in this pack. And on top of all of this, you'll have access to my exclusive support via email, which is essential in this case. Because, as I've said, there are lots of ways to connect your components between the keyboard and your phone, depending on where do you want to connect to. So, if you have a hard time with these sort of things, the support you will receive will make a big difference. I will be readily available to help you on the installation process, and I can assure you that I will help you make the spec work on your phone and on your keyboard. What I'm offering here is a specialized support for this app. And this will also save your time. I remember that when I started, if I had to use a program, I had to search for hours and hours how to use it, and most of the time there weren't videos. The ones that did exist were in English, Japanese, Chinese, and I had to interpret them to understand. Now, you're gonna have my support and my experience. Currently, I have over 3,000 students, and any problem you have, you can send to me via email, and I'll be readily available to give you all the support and help you with any doubts you might have along the way. But first, right after you make the purchase, I will send you the timber pack along with a tutorial video. In this video, I will explain in detail how to install the app, which type of cable you're gonna need depending on your keyboard, which cable you're gonna use. What are you going to use to hear the sound? Earphones. How can I use a sound speaker in this setup? How do I connect to the sound of the church? Will I have to buy an audio interface? Which one should I buy? So, the tutorial video will explain this in detail to clear out any doubts, and even then, if you have any problems, you'll have my support, and I guarantee you that I will help you and you will be able to use this app on your cell phone. And to wrap it up, I need to clarify something very important. The Audio Evolution app is not included in the spec. You're gonna need to download the app yourself. You can get the free version or the paid one. As I've said, this is a tiny investment that you're gonna do compared to the quality you'll be able to achieve. We are talking about timbres that you would only have access to in keyboards that cost upwards of $3, $4, $5,000, and now you will be able to use them with only your cell phone and your keyboard. So, buying the app along with the timbre pack, you will be spending a symbolic amount compared to how much you're gonna be improving your sound. And another important thing, you do not need a PC or a laptop to use this pack. In all my previous packs that was the case, but in this one you do not need a PC or a laptop because everything can be done using only your phone. So, using your cell phone, you will buy the pack, download it, install it, you will have access to my support via email, all very simple, very clear, using only your phone. So, you don't need to use a PC or a laptop. And now, I will show you the timbres. I'm not going to show you all of them because there are just too many of them. But I'm going to show you the main ones so you can hear the quality of these timbres. And if you are interested in buying this pack, the link is in the description down below. So, let's go. Well, my friends, that is it. All of these timbers that I've shown here are included in this pack. So, if you are interested in purchasing it, it is now at a promotional value. Just go to the link in the description or in the first comment down below. The pack is sent immediately after the purchase. You will receive the pack and also my exclusive support, where I will be readily available to help you. God bless, and I see you later.